Viewers to Season 3, the beginning of Season 3, and you join me at the end of qualifying. Yes, I've already done qualifying, today, because, basically, I'm gonna change one or two things, and I'm gonna let you know now what they are. Now, the first thing, I'm not going to record qualifyings, in videos anymore. So there won't be any qualifying sessions that you will see, certainly for the first 5 races, because I want to experiment here and see whether viewership will go up because of it. Secondly, 50% race distances, so obviously I've changed it. Usually I do 25% race distances, so obviously, let's say here it'd be 14 laps, so we'd be doing a further 14 laps. Effectively, we'll be doing 28 laps today rather than 14 laps. So we'll get certainly, hopefully, more strategy this way, so it won't be all the same result. And finally, we're going to watch the race highlights. Not race replays, the highlights. So it'll be a bit different, and we'll just watch some of the highlights. Obviously, that's usually only 30 seconds long or 40 seconds long. It's not too long. But yeah, I think with these changes, hope you'll like them. Unless, obviously, put them now into force, of course. Now, obviously, when we go back, obviously, I hope things will be good. Now, once the interviews are done, we'll get into today's race. But before we get into today's race, I'm gonna obviously show you the R&D, how that's come along. And I'm going to show you the driver transfers as well, because there has been there's been quite a number, in fact, so I'm going to show you them, of course, the driver transfers, and obviously how, the R&D developments come along, and who's the quickest, who's the second quickest, who's third, who's fourth. We're the 4th quickest team right now, apparently, so not bad. I would like to be a bit further up the grid, but, 4th quickest, that's okay, I'll take it, But we did well there. We outperformed our expected, So there we are. Obviously, Williams are now the 3rd quickest team. We're 4th quickest, ahead of Racing Point. Then Haas is the 2nd quickest, but Alfa Romeo still hold that edge in the R&D performance at the moment. It's very close though between 4th. Well, 2nd, probably down to, 6th, maybe, I would say. Still very, very close. Not much to split. And I'd say teams are going to be closer this season anyway, overall. But driver transfers. So, obviously, Lewis Hamilton, has decided to depart from Mercedes. And now he's at Haas. Valtteri Bottas has decided to also depart from Mercedes. He's now gone to Williams. Vettel staying at Alfa Romeo. Gasly, my former teammate, has now gone to Racing Point. There's been no changes at Renault. Only one change. Stroll's been dropped from Formula 1 completely. He's not gone anywhere. Mercedes have hired, obviously, George Russell and Kimi Räikkönen. Williams have still got Devon Butler, but also with the new arrival of Valtteri Bottas now. Lucas Weber has come in to replace my former teammate, Pierre Gasly. So my former Formula 2 teammate has become my F1 teammate. So nice to be partnering up with him again. He's just out-qualified me in our first outing for Red Bull. Well, in his first outing for Red Bull. Can he also be the 2nd driver to get, or 3rd driver to win on his debut? That would be a question. But yeah, I think that's all the changes there has been so far. So quite a few changes then for this season. Obviously, Vettel still at, obviously, Alpha. So no changes at Alpha. Only one change at my team here, obviously. with the arrival of Lucas Weber. So myself and Weber are now the Red Bull representatives, or the Red Bull, not representatives, but with the Red Bull, drivers now. So we're the face of Red Bull, and it's a complete new lineup for us technically this season, season 3 at Red Bull, which is nice. So the team are still going to do a 1-stop. I'm just going to see whether or not a 2-stop could actually take place, see whether or not it would be quicker. Only 10 seconds is the difference. So I think if there's a safety car, the 1-stop could certainly come into effect. We're going to go actually heavy with fuel here. We're starting P9. Obviously no penalties. It's the debut race. Why would there be anyway on a debut race, of course. So the start of season 3, well, the formation lap is underway. 50% race distance today, so 28 laps then today of racing. It's going to be a different race altogether, going to be a bit more endurance race, you could argue. Like, it won't be as much of a, sprint race like we usually do. Still going to be 1-stop strategy, we're still going to go for that, obviously. So obviously nothing's really changed from that perspective, but of course, we're not going to be as in such a big rush to make a pass, maybe left, right, centre. Like, it'll still be important to make passes, of course, but it won't be maybe as rushy, because usually when you're doing a 25% race distance, you usually, how can you put it, you're usually rushing to make passes, whereas today I don't think it'll be quite the same, because obviously we've got 28 laps, that's a long way, to go, and gaps will spread out, so, it's a long way, 28 laps, we could even see cars being lapped, especially slower ones, anyway, at the bottom end of the field. Anyway, for us, we're starting a bit out of position, I would say, today. We didn't have the greatest qualifying, which is a bit of a shame, but, of course, at the end of the day, we're in the position that we're in. We've got to accept it. And we sort of got to do a bit of a comeback race here. I'm not too sure where we're capable of. I didn't have a great feeling in qualifying with the car. I had an okay feeling, but not a great feeling. Practice, I felt, was more better, so maybe our race pace will be stronger. I would like to hope so. At least obviously my teammate, Lucas Weber's up there, so, 9th, yes, it's not the greatest result, but look, at the end of the day, I've never been too strong at this track anyway. It's not been my strongest track on the calendar. At least we're starting 9th. Anyway, we're about to now go 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go, and we make a pretty good start actually. We got a pretty good initial launch. The second part of the start ain't been as good, but we're gonna... What is Bottas doing? Literally comes down my inside and then just brakes, parks his car on the apex. What a orangutan. We're gonna try that again. He literally parks the car on the apex. We'll take that start. That was better. So we're now up into 7th. And we now head all down into turn 2. Why ain't my car stopping? Have we got some brake failure or something? Literally, I'm going full brakes. Where did we brake? Maybe we broke a little bit late, but literally, my car weren't stopping. We'll use one more flashback. If we have another off moment or another crash, we won't use any more flashbacks, okay? And I promise you that. So right, now we're going to let the race run its natural course. As I say, we don't have to panic as much, because obviously, yeah, we're not, well, we're racing, but we can sort of let the race run its natural course right now, which is good. So we're up into 7th, so that's already more points than we would have earned this time last year anyway, which is good. Anyway, through the quick left-right hander, then going down the hill, I don't know why I'm saying kind down the hill, but kind down towards the end of the circuit now. I'm already on the back of Butler, so obviously my teammate seems to be holding up the traffic here and allowing one of the Alphas to get away. Not sure who's in the lead, we'll soon find out. It's Carlos Sainz in the lead of the Australian Grand Prix then. So my teammate certainly not going that quick. We've pulled away from the Ferraris, so that's good to see that we're pulling away. A bit late on the brakes, gone a bit deep there into that corner as my teammate just been overtaken by Sebastian Vettel. So Alfa Romeo picking off from where they left off last season. I say we're not going to use another flashback, but I think we will there, because that would have been a definite out of the race KO. I don't know what I'm doing there. Literally, when that corner can really throw you off actually sometimes. I have to remember that during this race. Certain corners that can throw us off. But when you're doing endurance racing, you sort of got to be a bit more tamed, I would say, and sort of got to let the race run its natural path, rather than, you know, go aggressive for moves. But usually, right now, I'd be probably going up the inside of everyone, you know, right now. And I've got a good run off the corner here compared to Devon Butler, but I still don't think it's probably close enough to go for the actual overtake. So I'll hold back here just a sec, wait until he leaves the door open, and what is he looking like through there? No, not enough. Got to be a bit more clinical though, as well. Go down the inside. What is Butler doing? I have no idea what Butler was doing there. He left the door open there 100%, like, as you'll see, and then comes back to close it. Well, we'll just sit behind him then. We're doing literally even though we've done a, like, we're doing a, you know, 50% race, we're still gonna have crashes. Oh, and we're still gonna have moments. Well, that's annoying, because Devon definitely left the door open there. And yeah, he should have probably backed out of it, or maybe, you know, been a bit more fairer. But my teammate's still holding up this queue. He's causing a bit of a queue. I want to actually get a bit of a move on, because this is all backing me now into the Ferrari. So probably around lap 5 I'll probably start trying to make some vital moves.
Okay, battery's looking good. You can use overtake to get past.
Alright, let's see what we've got. Alright, here we go then, on Devon Butler. Are we close enough? We are gaining. We're going to go down the inside here. Why is Devon doing that for? We had the run. I'm sorry. We had the run there. We'll just then use a bit more slipstream and brake a bit more later then. That's what we'll do, mate. If you want to play dirty, but maybe Devon up to his old tricks like he used to be back in his Formula 2 days. I don't know. He's very aggressive late move, because I always say you can't move in the braking. Well, you can't move in braking, it's actually a rule, and he's just moved in that braking zone.
Gap ahead is 1.8 seconds.
Then you get that type of scenario. Like, when a car's quicker than you, or when a car is, you know, I always say when a car's quicker than you, or if someone gets a run on you, I'm not saying don't defend your position, but leave room, especially if, you know, they've got a massive run on you, like I had there. Right, anyway, we've got to catch back up to this lot in front. Lap 4 now, we're ahead of Butler. The two Ferraris are not too far behind. So we're up into P6 now. Picking up 8 points. That'd be quite a lot more points than we picked up at the start of last year. In fact, it'd be 8 more points than we picked up at the start of last year. And that's the thing I want to do this season. I want to finish in the points consistently, by the way, this year. That's the aim. But right now, we've got good race pace compared to our teammate anyway. I'm not sure whether my teammate's on a different tyre. Teammate status.
Having trouble receiving.
Teammate status.
Gap to teammate ahead is 1.5 seconds. They're on old softs. They're in fourth.
No.
The time last lap was
So tyres.
25.
My tyres are exact same as obviously my teammates. Lucas Weber just not performing right now, and he's now in 5th. So soon, obviously, he's gonna be, well, I'm just catching him. And in all honesty, I've pulled away from from Devon Butler, so having a bit of a scrap here soon, I would have thought, with my teammate. Hopefully my teammate won't defend too hard. But we certainly got good pace here to go after the podium, and that's the thing here. Hopefully my teammate won't defend too hard against me. Hopefully my teammate will leave me room to race. Obviously not too much room, but just enough room. Now, I'm just having a think. Could we force these lot into a 2-stop? Just having a think about that, you know, because we can force certainly a 2-stop here. It would be a viable strategy. But I don't know. Right now our left tyre is overheating, so we need to try and keep that front left bit cooler now. So obviously, I don't know whether we've got tyre problems as Red Bull right now. I'm not too sure. But right now what I do know is my teammate is certainly a bit slower than me right now. We're matching the Haas pace, we are. So, we're lapping consistently. We've got a bit of a gap on Charles Leclerc right now. Now this is the thing about, you know, obviously racing right now. Obviously the natural pace of the car will spread out the field a bit more, so effectively the undercut will be a bit more viable now. So we're waiting for a gap to open up. I'm not sure whether or not we've got that gap. Let's have a look. Right now, if we pit, we'd rejoin 20th. So yeah, we certainly don't want to rejoin that. So might as well just continue on our way around here. So we've cooled down our tyres a little bit now, so, you know, we're behind Lucas Weber here. We're following Weber. Now, obviously, I want Weber to pick up his pace and sort of pave the way for me right now. Right now, Perez now is sort of become the train. So no one right now challenging really the two Alfa Romeo cars. They've literally flown off into the distance. But obviously, not really much we can do here. We're stuck behind this train. We're stuck in this little traffic jam. Now, one thing I don't want is obviously the Ferraris to latch onto this train. That's where I feel like it would be then time to come in. I certainly don't want Ferraris to latch onto right now here. We're driving actually quite good right now. Hopefully I don't put the commentator's curse on it though. So lap 8, so obviously we're, I think, 1/3 through this race or something like that. We're certainly, put it this way, we're cracking on. We're now deeper into this race. So we're getting close to pit stop anyway window. just working out in my head whether or not it'd be good to go long. Is it best to undercut? Would it be viable to switch to the 2-stop right now? I'm wondering where we'd still come out. Still 20th if we made that pit stop. So if we're going to make a pit stop, we need to come out, I'd say, in that top 10. So near Gasly or behind Gasly, which I wouldn't really mind. Then at least, you know, we could, you know, certainly have a viable strategy. But right now 20th is no good right now to my strategy if we wanted to go for 2-stop right now here. We're just too bunched up. But tyres falling off right now as well, so could a 2-stop be a viable strategy? I'm wondering. If we're going to commit, I'm going to say we have to commit this lap. And in fact, Perez is now in.
Our data is showing some wear. Most likely you'll be able to
I wonder
feel
if these lot are going for the 2-stop. I'm not sure.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
They're pulling away, so would suggest they're pushing a bit harder right now in this race. Now, obviously we're getting quite a lot of sliding right now from the entire car. We're now the slower Red Bull, 100% now, as my teammates pulled about a second there in that part of a lap. Literally, I'm now a bit answerless. I may see what Perez has gone to, and may follow Perez actually here. Let's see whether where Perez has gone in on the soft. So Perez has gone for the 2-stop. Interesting. Okay, so Perez has gone for that 2-stop strategy. So okay, so I don't know. Do we stick to 1-stop? I'm gonna stick to 1-stop. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go opposite to Perez. Unless I do opposite to my teammate. I don't know. I'm really scratching my head here.
Increase ERS deployment.
Very indecisive. I am right now. Because if we do opposite to my teammate, then obviously that could work. If we do opposite to Perez. Right, Hamilton's in. So Hamilton's also going on to the soft. So Haas are committing to that 2-stop strategy. So we're now in. Vettel's also gone on to the 2-stop strategy. So looks like 2-stop is more favourable here. I think the Alphas can make it work. It'd be very tight though. I think Alpha can make it work. We've got to commit to the 1-stop. I am committed to 1-stop. I'm not going to 2-stop. Forget it. If we want a good result, I feel like 1-stop's way to go. Regardless, like, we're gonna have fresher tyres and more durable tyres. So obviously pit stops are now happening, of course. And obviously these tyres are absolutely worn, I tell you that. These are well and truly done as tyres go. Literally, the grip on them is gone. So, I'm wondering whether my teammate will come in this lap or whether or not he will stay out longer. The longer my teammate stays out, obviously the worse his situation becomes as well, because these tyres I imagine will be soon gone. Teammate is staying out. And so are the two Ferraris. Jeez, these tyres are gone. In fact, I may come in. I am going to come in. These tyres are just gone. Sorry. I know I shouldn't do this, but these tyres are absolutely gone. They're off. Now, obviously, obviously, I hope this won't spell trouble for our second stint. Just got speeding in pit lane penalty. Hope this won't cause trouble for us. Oh, for really speeding in pit lane. I need to Right, that time you can't give me a penalty game. We didn't speed. Right, anyway. Gonna put on these medium tyres. That was a good stop by my team, pretty decent. So Vettel will obviously rejoin in front, even though he was already in front. Our aim is to rejoin, but
Pit strategy complete. See these
getting
tyres
so
through here
much
now.
wheel spin out of that corner. So we didn't rejoin too badly or too far behind Hamilton or the Haases. So in the cup, I don't know, it didn't seem to have a massive effect. We didn't have a great exit out of the pit lane though. Alright, so we gotta now make these tyres last to the end of the Grand Prix, whereas Hamilton and Perez obviously need to make one more stop. So we can actually assume Hamilton and Perez
Some information on Giovinazzi. They have an issue with their car.
is 25 seconds behind, or 20 seconds behind, based on that. Obviously we come out, not really in traffic, so actually it was pretty good that we were, well, our timing, because we're more or less, actually in clean air. We don't want to be making too many mistakes like that. But we've actually done a good race up to this point. We've had a pretty solid race so far, like we've gained 3 positions so far, which is pretty good. Like even if we finish P6, that's still a fairly solid result. Now this was the lap we were meant to be stopping, but we've decided to stop 1 lap earlier. Now we got to make sure we come out ahead of the Ferrari. We do, and in fact we've extended our gap to the Ferrari. So Verstappen's also gone medium. So obviously I think we're going to be pretty close to Red Bull here at this rate. So gotta get past Russell here, who's he's on the 1 stop. He's got to be on the 1 stop right now. George Russell. Obviously, he came in to replace Lewis Hamilton for Mercedes this season. As Hamilton made his way to Haas, the American team. So, you know, can he bring Mercedes back to the top
Nice work. That
and
brings you up a place.
sort of bring back the success Hamilton did? But obviously, that was a pretty nice move that we did there on young George, who's driving currently for Mercedes. Obviously our car is faster, but we don't want to be making errors like that, like we shouldn't be, even though our car, but that was a pretty solid move actually. What happened there though, on that curb, we just took a bit too much curb. So right, we're about to find out whether or not we'll rejoin ahead of our teammate Lucas Weber, who's obviously joined for this season, the Red Bull team. Hopefully he'll stay in this Red Bull team for a long time. He's come over, I think he was racing at Haas if I'm correct, but we're about to find out, are we ahead, are we behind? I think we're behind here, but only just, it's going to be very close. If we can just get better exit out of this corner, we can go marching around the outside. My teammate pushing me off onto the grass there. Literally very bold from Lucas Weber, who's obviously my teammate. That's very, very bold. And, you know, that could have very easily ended in a crash. Like, because obviously my teammate pushed me off onto the grass there, not saying he should have done. Now, of course, like, he has got ahead of me there, but he's only ahead because, you know, he pushed me out wide onto the grass. He weren't willing to yield, and nor was I really. So, obviously, Christian Horner won't be too pleased about that, seeing 2 Red Bull drivers almost colliding, and I'm not really happy about that, because don't forget, he's my new teammate, and the way he's just treated me there, as if he's the old teammate, very, you know, naughty of him to do stuff like that. Like, so I'm gonna be within DRS. I should be able to get Lucas here, so long we got the speed down the straight. Obviously, I'm not going to go straight away down this straight. I'm going to hold back just a little bit here. And Lucas is once again in that spot where we had him last time. But this time we've got the DRS. Lucas doesn't have any DRS. We're going to go down the inside, brake a little bit later on the brakes. Hopefully Lucas does leave us room. Yes, he does this time. He's again going to push us off circuit. This time there's going to be a bit more contact between us two. So Lucas certainly not playing ball here right now. And obviously it's not good because obviously Lucas is certainly almost putting the team result at jeopardy here. And Tank I don't want to do, but we do have more pace right now, especially right now in this early phase of this stint. Okay, he's got fresher tyres, but we do have the better pace, and that is what counts right now. Not about, you know, so he goes defensive. We're going to try and do a switchback manoeuvre. Can we make it done? I'm going to now push him wide, teach him what you shouldn't do to your teammate, and that's us up into 5th place. And we also get the DRS because we were in the actual activation zone, but then we just spun. Someone's buzzing my door. Give me a few seconds. Okay.
To the car in front is 3.0 seconds. Fuel target is +1. Faster engine modes are available. Switch to overtake and have a go. is 4.1 seconds. Tyre condition. They should last a while yet, so don't worry about them. Green flag. You've lost some time to the car behind. battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace. Yellow flags ahead. No overtaking through the caution zone. Be careful until you see the greens. Gap to car in front is 5.7 seconds. Plus one lap of extra fuel. Fuel target plus one. Sainz is the race leader. The gap to the car ahead is 9.4 seconds. Let's use some of this energy. Increase the ERS deployment. Currently, the fastest lap is a 1:23.4. Our gap to the car in Sainz is leading the race. P5, you're in P5. Lucas ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 11.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Perez behind. The gap to the car behind is 2.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. The distance to the leader is 33.9 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 6 laps to go. Car in front is 9.8 seconds. Lewis is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap. Fuel is looking really good. You're managing it well. Come on, you can win that place back. Vettel has just posted the fastest lap of the race so far. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. This is your final lap of the race. complain about that one. That was an excellent drive.
A great win then for the Alfa Romeo team today. Anthony, Alfa Romeo Racing in the #1 spot on the podium today. A thrilling race and an excellent result for this team, who've never stopped fighting for that top step. Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. Carlos Sainz now leads the Drivers' Championship as a result of his great performance today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Daniel Ricciardo certainly impressed me today, an incredible performance.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Alfa Romeo
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. What's it like seeing your old F2 teammate up on the podium today? Were you surprised to see Lucas moving teams? You and Devon weren't far apart by the end of the race. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Great. Well, that's everything.
Great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up.